Now let me I will wait for 1 or 2 minutes before starting the class. Let the others join, but one or two things that I want to mention to all of you. First of all is that you guys please join that Google Classroom that is created for your section. Now from this week I don't have any problem, but from the next week onwards I will post the meeting link to that classroom. Okay, so that's why it is needed that everyone is joined in that classroom. Okay, so please make sure that by the end of this week I can see all of you in that classroom with your heritage mail ID. And second thing is today there is a second class of your sections. It is scheduled from 3 to 3:50, but I have a class just before that for with section C. So what I want to take that class from 4 to 4:50. Okay, so I will send you the meeting link accordingly, but please remember that the class will be from 4, not 3. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine, thank you. So without wasting much time, let me so already 25. I suppose it will be much better, but okay. So in yesterday's class we have discussed some basic introductory things about artificial intelligence. Now today my job will be to introduce the different segments, possible different segments of AI, and that will give you the clear picture that what are the different sectors on which you can you need to deal with in this course, right? Now let me start with the first section, which is a left top corner, and it is written as agent. I hope you can see this thing. So the agent, now whatever you develop or design in this domain, everything is treated as an agent in general. Okay, so in that respect, Alexa can be an agent. Okay, so in that respect, Alexa can be an agent. In that respect, Deep Blue can also be an agent. So in general, we will refer to those devices, those machines, those systems as an agent, right? An agent, as I mentioned in the last class, that agent is supposed to be behave like an human being, right? Now to start off, there is another thing in that corner. There is called a perception. Now human being has its own perception capability. Okay, so how do a human being perceive? Perception means what it perceives. It perceives its surrounding environment. And how it perceives? It perceives through some sensory organs, right? What are the organs that helps us to perceive? We have eyes, we have ears, we have noses.
All sense
Nose.
organs.
Please mute yourself. I request everyone. I'm trying to mute all. Some. Okay, so like whenever you are designing an agent, and you expect that those agents behave like a human being, so that agent should have also some sensory organs like us, right? So what are those sensory organs through which they can perceive? They should have some cameras, they should have some antennas, they should have some what I can say that sensory organs, other reactors, etc., etc. That should be there to perceive its surrounding. That is the main job, because if the agent cannot perceive its environment, it cannot react. Okay, and you always expect that your agent should react according to the situation, right? So that's why the perception capability should be there for every agent in its own form, right? And it is obvious that the perception organs versus sensory organs should be different from one agent to another agent, but there should be, okay, so that it can react, right? Now, number two, there is another thing which is very much crucial, that is the reasoning capability that a human being has. Okay, now you are right now in the third year, and I hope everyone is starting practicing the reasonings. Okay, because in campus interviews or in any competitive exams, reasoning is very much important. And human being, we have the reasoning capability. Now, what do you mean by saying reasoning? Can anyone tell me, just unmute yourself, anyone, and tell me that what do you mean by saying reasoning?
Sir, mathematical knowledge.
Logically thinking.
No. What
Solving
we are, what?
puzzles.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, mathematical knowledge.
No, not mathematical knowledge. What we are
Solving
doing in
puzzles, sir.
reasoning.
Puzzle solving.
Sorry. Tell me what?
Puzzle, sir. Puzzle solving.
Puzzle solving. Not exactly the puzzle solving. Reasoning is actually you are given some
Thinking
sentences.
capability. Thinking capability.
You are you are actually now what I want you to I want you from that what we are doing in reasoning. Okay, reasoning means that we need to infer some new things from a given set of sentences, right? That is a reasoning. Okay, logical reasoning. Mane, we can logically infer something from the given one, right? And now reasoning, it can be done in two ways. Okay, one is called as forward reasoning, another one is called as backward reasoning. Now, what is the difference between these two? For forward reasoning, we are moving from the given sentences to the goal, whereas in the backward reasoning, starting from the goal, we want to reach to one of the given sentences, right? So that is the difference between the forward reasoning and backward reasoning. And in this respect, I want to mention that I mentioned about Prolog in the last class that we will do in the lab. So Prolog is also doing reasoning, but Prolog follows the backward reasoning. Okay, so try to remember. I will mention that thing again in the lab when the lab classes start. But still, so backward reasoning, what does it mean? It's very easy, that we will start from the goal which we want to reach. So starting from the goal, we want to reach to one of the facts, one of the sentences that is given to you as an input. Okay, so that reasoning capability is one of the important factors that I want our system should have. Now next, there is another thing that is written in blue, that is search. And you guys are, since you are in the third year, you are very much familiar with the searching, because you have done a lot of searching, you have studied a lot of searching techniques in your data structure class, in your algorithm class, etc., etc. But here also we have a searching. And can anyone tell me that why searching is required in this case as far as AI is concerned? Any idea that why searching is required or how searching is required here?
So डिफेक्टिव पीसेस अलग करने के लिए.
Sorry.
So marking the defective items out of stock of goods.
No. That is exactly not. Actually, searching is the same. Yeah. Anyone tries to say anything?
So distinguishing things.
Not exactly distinguishing things. Okay, fine. You are thinking in a different way. But what I want to say that searching is exactly here the same type of searching that you have done in your graphs. Okay, so just think about a game, any game, any two-player game like a chess or a tic-tac-toe, anything like that. And there is a start state, there are goal states, and you want to reach from the start state to one of the goal states, and your objective is always to reach to the goal states in a minimum number of times or minimum number of hops. So searching here is required to find that path. Are you getting my point, what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Sir, can
Okay,
you
so-
explain it once again?
Yeah, obviously. Now, just think that you have a graph. Okay, graph. You know graph, and in the graph, you have done a shortest path, to find the shortest path, etc. You have already done here. In this case, our objective is to find the optimal path. And what optimal path? The optimal path from the start state to one of the goal states. And you can reach to the goal state from using different ways, but your objective should be, since your agent, you expect that it works in a better way, it performs very good. So always you try to find out the better path, the optimal path. So in that way, searching is required here. Okay, so SM sir will deal with this part totally, the searching part, and here also we have some known algorithms that you have already studied, DFS, BFS. Then there are some modifications of the DFS, and at the end there will be a searching technique which is appropriately used for this AI domain, and that is called A star. Okay, and there are some modifications of A star, AO star, etc. So those searching algorithms will be covered here, and the objective of that, all the algorithms are the same, that you have to find out the optimal path, right? But as I said, that DFS, BFS you have already studied. The algorithm will be same here also, but the domain will be different. But what I'm trying to say, that the way that DFS, BFS is applied over here, that will be a little bit different from the way that you have done in your earlier classes. Okay, but the algorithm will be as same as this, right? So this is searching. Now, just beside that, there is a one of the important segment, and we have to give a significant part of our class, of our course, that is learning. Okay, because if the system did not have the learning capability, then it cannot be treated as an intelligent system. Like we as a human being, we have the learning experience, we have the learning capability. What learning? Learning from our mistakes, right? So if we have done a mistake, and if the same situation occurs in future, in most of the cases, we will not do the same mistake if we learn from our experience. Okay, the same thing applies over here also, learning. And there can be different type of learnings available. We will see those things in detail later, but here I am just trying to give you a basic pictures of those. So I hope everyone has already or most of you have already heard about the terms like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, etc., etc.? How many
deep
have you heard about those things?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
deep
Yes.
So
learning.
so supervised learning, what is the difference? The difference is that in supervised learning, supervisor is present to tell you whether you are doing right or wrong, right? Like say, as for example, I am giving this example very often that suppose you are taking an elective and you are very much interested to take the elective in your semester, but department says that there is no suitable faculty we can find for this elective. Okay, but you guys are very much interested to take it. So department has given you the choice that okay, so if you can do it in your own, then we don't have any problem. Okay, so that means, what does it mean? That there is no supervisor, there is no teacher present, and you have to learn in your own. Okay, and you have to track, you have to find out your mistakes in your own. Okay, because you have to score good, you have to achieve the good marks in the exam. So you have to rectify yourselves, you have to improve yourselves. And since the teacher is not present, so you have to learn in your own. Okay, so that is called the unsupervised learning, right? But the supervised learning, the difference is that the teacher is present every time and teacher tells you that whether you are doing wrong or whether you are doing right, or how much you are wrong or how much you are right, etc., etc. If I need to spend time in this type of works, then it will be difficult, right? Okay, so that is the learning over here, right? Now in learning, again, I hope you have heard these two terms, that training phase and testing phase, right? So whatever the data set is there, the data set will be divided into two parts, the training part and testing part. And it is advisable from different literatures that division will be the standard division ratio will be 70-30 or 60-40. So that means the significant part will be okay. So training data is required to train your model. So after the training, you put the testing data in your model, and if you are satisfactory with the result, then you are okay. But if you are not satisfactory with the result, then you assume that your learning is not proper, your learning is not complete, and then you do the learning again. Okay, so in this way, the learning, your system will be learned, right? Your system will be learned so that it can give the answers for the unknown data, right? Unknown data means that data that you have not seen before. So this is the idea that I am talking about for the supervised learning, because that for the each data, the class level will be given. Here, the class level will be acted as a supervisor, right? So if it is a binary class problem, then it will be 0, 1 or 1 minus 1, etc., etc. So that I will explain those things later. So right now, just think about the learning capability your system should have, because if the system does the same again and again the same mistakes, then it will not be a good system, right? As for example, I am giving another example here. Suppose I hope you have faced this incidents also in your life, that whenever you are playing computer games, games with the computer. Now it may happen that initially it is very easier for you to win the game, right? But gradually, as time goes on, then it becomes difficult for you to win it, right? So if that thing happens, that means your system is learning, okay? Because the mistake that you have done in the earlier phase, if the same situation occurs, then it may have the idea that okay, that the same thing the move that I have given in the last thing in this situation, I will give the alternate moves. Right? So that is the learning. Now come to the central part, which is written in the brown, or that is a knowledge representation, and that knowledge representation is linked to every module of this thing, because this plays a central role over here. Right? So what does it mean? That if you cannot represent the knowledge properly, then nothing is possible. Okay, I mentioned in the last class that knowledge representation is important, because if the representation is not efficient, then you cannot access it efficiently. Okay, so what are the different techniques that is there to represent the knowledge? We have two ways. One is the propositional logic representation, another one is the predicate logic representation. We will see later on in detail. Actually, the difference, I hope you know all these things: propositions, predicates, etc., right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Not much response I am getting. Propositions, predicates, because those things are very much required over here.
Sir, याद नहीं है sir.
Do you remember?
No, sir.
No sir. भूल गए sir.
Is not भूल गए सब कुछ. Okay, fine. That's okay. In which semester you have studied this thing?
Third.
Which semester?
Third, I think.
Okay, and this is fifth semester, so you forget all those things. Okay, fine. Good. Okay, that is not a problem. We will see all those things. Now tell me one thing. I want to know that whether this thing is you remember or not. Can you define a proposition? What is a proposition?
So logic, sir, and or this type of things.
But these are the operators. And or is the operator. These are not. I am talking
Sir,
about the
the
propositions. What is proposition?
Any statement that expresses a judgment or like any opinion.
Any
Any
statement?
statement that has only true or false as an answer.
That has a judgment or an opinion.
Yeah. So if I am saying that Kolkata is the capital of India, is it a proposition?
Yes sir.
Yes.
So only
Okay.
Boolean value 1 or 0.
Okay. If I say that what time is it? Is it a proposition?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Now, yeah. So propositional logic representation is there. Predicate logic representation is there. But the point is that the difference between that two is that the proposition cannot represent the whole class. And if I need to represent something about the CSE third year section B, I can't represent it using proposition, because proposition deals with a single entity. Okay, so that's why it is not possible to represent all kind of knowledge using propositions. So propositions has its own limitations. So that's why we have to move from the proposition to predicates. And what is the difference there? The predicates represents the whole class. How to represent? What are the basic changes that you can find in predicates that is not there in the propositions? Can I get answer from anyone?
Sir, could you repeat the question you just asked?
My question is that what was the thing that was there in the predicate which is not there in the proposition?
Any condition?
There is a term called quantifiers. Do you remember?
No.
Quantifiers,
No, sir.
universal quantifiers, existential quantifiers. Okay. Okay, so if you forget, no problem. So we will recap all those things. So predicate logic representation is so another way to represent the knowledge, right? So we will see that how the reasoning was done. Reasoning can be done using in propositional representation as well as in predicate representation. Okay. There will be then some algorithms, and we will see those algorithms there, right? Now, just right portion, there is a thing which is a constraint satisfaction, and I hope that is also a very familiar term to you, because there are some problems which belong to this domain. You have already studied in your algorithm class, like say graph coloring algorithms, like say knapsack problem, like say traveling salesman problem, 8 queens problem, 8 puzzles problem. Okay, so all those belong to the constraint satisfaction part, right? So what does it mean? That you have to find a solution by satisfying some constraints given to that. Okay, and basic algorithms that we'll be working on here, the two algorithms are there. One is the backtracking, another one is the forward checking, right? Am I getting?
Sir,
Yes,
what
sir.
forward checking?
Sorry,
Yes, sir.
কি বলছো?
কি বললেন স্যার? এটা ফরওয়ার্ড কি বললেন স্যার?
Forward checking. One is backtracking, another one is the forward checking. Okay, now planning that is also required. Actually, planning comes before any problem solving, right? Whenever a problem is given to you, to actually execute the steps, you should plan beforehand, so that at the time of actual execution, there should not be any fault. There should not be any failure, right? So that's why the planning is required, and we will see that what are the different techniques that will be used for planning. And just below that, that is another important areas which is very much required in today's life, that is natural language processing. As I mentioned in the last class, that natural language means that the language through which all the human beings are communicating with each other, right? So there must be some grammars, right? So if you want your agent is performing as per your order, then that agent should know the grammar of that language, right? So since you are already in 5th semester and you are side by side studying the automata, so there is a very important role of the automata as well as compiler, but unfortunately you have not studied compiler yet, but still there is not much scope of discussion in this part, because in your I hope in your 7th semester there is an elective paper on natural language processing. So if you are interested, some of you can take that paper in that semester, and you will learn then that thing in detail there. But here my objective is to give a brief discussion about this thing, natural language processing, because compiler is not studied here at this stage, so I can't go very much in detail. Okay, so actually there is a role of automata as well as compiler in natural language processing. Why I am already saying this, right? Because there is a role of the grammar over here. And if your system does not know the actual grammar of that language through which you are communicating, then your system can't perform it because your system cannot understand this. So that thing should be required. Okay, natural language processing or natural language understanding, whatever you are saying. Now there is a last thing which is there, which is called as, now here is ... That means that there can be a lot of things over here in this domain. So everything is not possible or not feasible to discuss. So that's why that's why this is the thing. And the last thing that is very much important, that is expert system. So to build an expert system, that means that agent is expert in his domain. I can give you some examples of the expert system. One is that MySyn. Okay, MySyn. MySyn is used for medical diagnosis system. So whatever the role of the doctors are, that system can do. If you can feed some symptoms of yours, then he can give you some possible diseases, right? Now it is not possible to give you the exact thing, so it can give you some possibilities. So that is a system which is developed for this purpose. Now I have also heard about one system which is acted as a legal advisor. Okay, so whatever the role of the lawyers are, it can perform according to that. Okay, the legal advisors. Okay, so that is the overall picture. Okay, so we will see the agents in our course, we will see searching in our course, we will see reasoning, we will see learning, we will see knowledge representation, we will see constant satisfaction, we will see planning, and we will see very brief of this thing and this thing, right? So now what the time says that I have approximately 3 minutes left. So I just I want to wrap this class with two things to show. This thing I have discussed in the last class. So what I want to show you that some recent successes of AI. So just see, this is a picture, right? Now, can you imagine that this is not a real picture? This is a program generated picture, the program generated painting. And it is auctioned by Christie and they earn this much amount in 2018. So actually, there is a neural network generated picture. I hope you have heard about, some of you have heard about neural network. A specific model which is called GAN is used over here to generate this picture. Okay, so program can generate a painting and that painting is auctioned, right? Now, Alexa I have mentioned. There is Google's DeepMind unit, which is working to develop super intelligent computers called WaveNet for machine generated speech that it says outperforms existing technology by 50%. Okay, so what does it mean? That if a picture is given to that machine as an input, then it generates something, some description about that picture. Okay, so that is the thing. Now, regarding this ICICI Bank super robots, software robots I have mentioned in the last class, Google self-driving car, that is a very much news in today's life. Although they don't get too much success, but the research is going on that self-driving car. Okay, and I hope that in near future we will have that self-driving car in reality.
So self-driving
Okay.
without driver, গাড়িটা চলবে।
Yeah, without driver, right? Now, history, I don't need that. It is very much needed to discuss. Okay, fine. So less than 1 minute. Okay, as I said in the beginning, that I will take the next class of your section from 4 to 4:50. Okay, you just keep in mind. And if you have any questions, you can quickly tell me. No, so Shayantan Sinha has asked me that do you have GAN in our course? No, because it can be studied in your machine learning course in your 7th semester, but or 6th semester. I don't remember, but not here. Okay, so this is that is all for this class. If you have any questions, so now we move on to we start with the first significant module, as I can say, which is problem solving. Okay, now here the problems that we will be dealing with, it's like some well-known puzzles. As for example, water jug problem, then missionaries and cannibals problem, then 8 queens problem, then wolf goat cabbage problem. Okay, so these are some problems. I hope that some of you are already familiar with this type of problems, because some of these can be obtained as a game also. Okay, especially I can mention about the missionaries and cannibals. Okay, missionaries and cannibals is it can be found as in a form of a game. I hope many of you are already familiar with this type of things. But whatever is that, now these problems, when the problem statements will be given to you, here our first job is to represent those problems as a state space. Okay. Now I have mentioned about search in the first session of today's class, if you remember. Now before going to those search techniques, like say DFS, BFS, or say A star that I have mentioned in the class, those are collectively called as an state space search algorithms. So why it is called state space search? Because it is applied on state space, right? So whatever the problems are given to you, maybe those problems will not be stated as a state space representation, but your first job will be to represent those problems as a state space. Okay, so the next question is obviously coming, that what do you mean by, or what I am trying to say about the state space, right? Now so let's start with let's start with that thing first. So state space. Now let's see the definitions. What is saying over there? It's like a definition. It's very much familiar with your automata class definition. If I assume that automata class is already started. So a state space representation is a tuple AKCO, where A is the set of states where it cannot be phi, that means null. K belongs to A, which is the initial state. C is a subset of A, which is the set of goal states. O is a set of operators. So that means whenever you are talking about some state space representation of a problem, there will be 4 necessary components: the set of states, one initial state, set of goal states, and the set of operators. Right? Now, operator, if you are confusing with the operators is actually some actions. Okay, so by doing those actions, you can move from one state to another state, right? Now for every operator, there will be some domain. So first of all, when you are going to apply some operator on a state, you have to first check whether the preconditions of those operators are satisfied on that state or not. That means whether I can apply a particular operator on this particular state or not. Okay, so there can be a variety of operators, and it is very much obvious that on a particular state you cannot apply all the operators because the preconditions does not match. Right? Now come to the definition 2. What it says, that if this is a state space representation and A comma A dash belongs to A are 2 states, A dash is directly accessible from A if there is an operator O where precondition of O on A holds and OA equal to A dashed. So what does it mean? That you can reach from A to A dash, that means that if you can apply some operator O on A and you can reach from A to A dashed. So that means, so this is possible only when this precondition of O on A holds. And the problem is solvable if I can reach from K. K is nothing but our initial state and C is one of the goal states. So if I can reach from K to C with some set of operators, the sequence of operators, then my solution will be this set of operators. So operators plays a very significant role over here, because whenever you are talking about a solution, so solution means, as I said, that if you can reach from the initial state to one of the goal states by applying a sequence of operators, then that problem is said to be solved. Is it okay up to
Yes.
this? Yeah.
স্যার বলছি এ থেকে এ ড্যাশ অব্দি যেতে গেলে তাহলে আমি অপারেটর দিয়ে যেতে হবে এটা।
Without using any operator. Operator means an actions, right? So if you cannot apply some action, if you cannot do any action, then how do you move from one state to another state? Right? So I think up to this it is okay.
Sir, precondition as in?
Yeah, I'm coming to the examples, then the preconditions will be clear to you. Precondition means that whether, for every operator there will be some conditions that before you can apply that operator, you have to check whether that preconditions holds or not. Right? Now it will be, I think it will be much more clear when I will come to some examples, right? So let me come to that first. So before that, now come to the representation. So state space, you have the idea of the state space now, that what are the components. Now how to represent that state space? So the representation of the state space is nothing but a directed graph. So here comes the graph thing. Okay, graph related. So you are now moving from the problem domain to the graph domain. Okay, so the state space is represented suitably by a directed graph. Okay, where, so A is a graph where A comma A dash belongs to E and A comma S dash is labeled with O if and only if I can reach from A to A dash by this operator. So if I can reach from state A to state A dash by using the operator O, then there will be an edge in the graph where one node will be denoted by A, another node will be denoted by A dash, and the edge between A and A dash will be labeled by O. Is it okay? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So the vertices representing the states in the state space representation, and the edges, the direct edge represents the operator. Okay, so one state will be identified as an initial state. So one node will be denoted by an initial state, and there will be some nodes which will be denoted by the goal states. So there will be one node corresponding to the initial state of the problem. There will be some nodes in the graph which will be denoted as the goal states of the graph, of the states, right? Fine. So now move to the first example, and that is water jug problem. So just read first the problem statement, what is written here, that we have 3 jugs of capacities 3, 5 and 8 liters respectively. There is no scale on the jugs, so it is only their capacities that we certainly know. Initially, the 8-liter jug is full of water, the other 2 are empty. we can pour water from one jug to another, and the goal is to have exactly 4 liters of water in any of the jugs. The amount of water in the other 2 jugs at the end is irrelevant. So I think the problem statement is clear to you.
That means we have to put exactly 4 liter each water on other 2 jugs.
হ্যাঁ, মানে at the end you should have at least 4 liter water in any of the jugs. Okay, so it can be the first jug, it can be the second jug, it can be the third jug, it can be both, it can be all 3 also, but exactly 4 liter of water in any of the jugs. That is the final condition. So if the problems given in this way, so nothing, no state space representation is given as a problem statement. So your job will be, your first job will be to represent this problem as a state space. So what you are supposed to do, you need to identify the initial state, you need to identify the final states, you need to identify the operators, and you need to identify the preconditions of those operators. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So now let's move on. So actually the states will be represented symbolically, so that it's a generalized representation. So and here there is no there is no strict rule that whatever I have written in the slides you have to exactly follow that thing. No, it is completely wrong. Okay, so you can find your representation, you can write in the exam your representation, but mind it one thing, that whatever representation you choose, that should be properly defined. Okay, no ambiguities should be there in the representation, right? So that is the statement I can make, that I can show you one of the representations, but you can write or you can use your representations also. Now, so what is the description of the problem? So since there is no scale on the jugs and we don't have any other tools that would help, we can pour water from jug A to jug B in 2 different ways. Either we can pour all the water from jug A to jug B, or we can fill up jug B. In the first case, we can pour all the water, so the jug A will be empty, and in the second case, we can fill up jug B, so jug B will be filled up, but there can be some water remained in jug A. Okay, so there can be 2 cases. Either of these 2 cases can be possible, right? So now come to the state space representation. So here the state is represented like this, where the ith part tells about the jug denoted by I, how many liters of water it is containing. So A1 represents the amount of water the first jug contains. This is the amount of water the second jug contains, and the amount of water the third jug contains. Okay, and the condition is that the AI can be varied from 0 to max of I, because for every jug there is a maximum capacity mentioned in the problem statement, right? Are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So now with this representation I can write the initial state like this. Okay, because initially it is mentioned in the problem statement that the 8 liter jug is full of water where the other 2 are empty. So I have assuming that this is the first jug, this is the second jug, and this is the third jug. But 3 liter jug is the first jug, 5 liter jug is the second jug, and 8 liter jug is the third jug. So now with this is my initial state, right? So this is my initial state. And what about the final state? The final state will be like this: C is equal to A1, A2, A3 belongs to A, such that there exists at least one I for which AI is equal to R. I hope this.
স্যার একটা মানে যখন থার্ড ক্লাসে আমার 8 লিটার ওয়াটার আছে, মানে একটা গ্লাস কি মানে আনফিল থাকতে পারে?
This is the initial condition. You read this thing, it is written initially. Initially the 8-liter jug is full of water and the other two are empty. এটা বলে দিয়েছে. This is given. Okay, so if with that, because you have to represent the problem that is given to you. So the given thing is this. So you have to start from here and you have to reach here. Now I hope all of you understand this symbol. This is actually there exist. Okay, and it is called, I mentioned in the first session that existential quantifier. So this is the symbol of the existential quantifier. There exists at least one I for which ai is equal to 4. So here either if either any of this contain 4-liter water, I will stop. So that is the goal state. Now come to the operators. So what can be the possible operators? Can anyone tell me what can be the possible operators over here?
Pouring, sir.
Sorry. Any answer? Any guessing?
Sir, assignment operator.
Assignment means?
So means like swapping, addition, subtraction.
No. Addition, subtraction तो बात नहीं है. माने you have to pour the water. You have to fill the jugs with water. Okay. So addition, subtraction is not there.
So sir, like swapping. So I.
Okay, so now let's see. The possible operator is this: the pour I comma j, where I is the source jug and j is the destination jug. So that means So what I am trying to do over here, that I need to pour water from one jug to another jug, and the source is represented by I and the destination is represented by j, and both I and j belongs to 1, 2, 3, and the condition is I should be not equal to j, because source and destination cannot be the same. So that's why pour I comma j.
1 2 3 বলতে কি বোঝাচ্ছে ওখানে?
1 2 3 মানে jug number, first jug, second jug, third jug. ঠিক আছে, মানে আমি whether I pour the water from first jug to second jug or second jug to third jug, that will be identified over here. I can write 1 comma 1, but that will be excluded by this condition that I cannot be equal to, I should be not equal to j. Okay, and now come to the precondition. Now someone asked me about the precondition. So here, so you have to identify the preconditions of the operators corresponding to the problem. Okay, so whatever the problem you have in hand, you have to find out that what can be the preconditions. Now here, the precondition should be that jug I, because I pour the water from jug I to jug j, so jug I should not be empty and jug j should not be filled completely. Okay, so that is the two preconditions that is possible over here. So ai cannot be 0 and aj cannot be max j. So if I can apply, suppose I want to apply pour 2 comma 3 on a state, but in that state, if either of these two conditions are violating, then I cannot apply that operator on that particular state.
এটা একটু বুঝলাম না, ম্যাক্স জেটা এজ নট ইকুয়াল টু ম্যাক্স জে।
ম্যাক্স জে মানে হচ্ছে জে এর জাগের ম্যাক্সিমাম ক্যাপাসিটি। সো ইফ অলরেডি জে জাগ হ্যাজ ইটস ম্যাক্সিমাম ক্যাপাসিটি, দেন তুমি আর কি তাতে জল ঢালবে? তাতে জল ঢালতে পারবে না। That is not possible. So that is the condition that is given, that aj should not be this and ai should not be this.
Okay, sir.
Right? So now with this thing, let's see how the state space looks like. So this is the way the state space looks like. So this is your initial state 008. The circles which are denoted by the greens, these are the goal states over here. Right? So now,
So how do we get to this?
sorry?
How do we get to this state space?
this is a whole picture. You have to do it manually. তুমি এখানে ধরো from this state you starting from this and you apply the different operators over here. So different operators means what? Poor 1,3. So if you do poor 1,3, then you reach to this. Similarly with the other thing. Similarly to other thing. Okay. So this is the complete picture.
Yes.
Now you can tell me, you can ask me the question that for a big problem, how do I get the whole picture? Now this is not required actually. Now that is why I am saying in the first session that although you can apply the BFS DFS over here, but it should be applied in a different way. The algorithm will be same, but the idea will be different. What is the idea? Different. How the idea is different? Now just let me tell you that in your earlier classes, whenever you are applying some searching algorithm, your graph like this will be given explicitly, right? So this graph will be given to you and you apply some algorithms. But here the difference is this graph will not be given to you explicitly. So what is given to you? You only given to the information that is given to you only the initial state, the goal state, and the set of operators and the preconditions of the operators. So you starting with this, now you apply some operators on this and you get some successors. Okay, so now your algorithm will do this. So your algorithm will do? Your algorithm will, starting from this, for each and every operator which is possible to apply it over here, it applies it and it gets some successors. Now out of these successors, if you apply the DFS, then the successors will be represented in a stack, and if you apply the BFS, then it will be represented in a queue. So according to that, you will go on, and when as soon as you reach to one of the goals, you stop and then you find the path from the start to that goal, and that will be your solution.
গ্রিন কালারের ওইটা আইডেন্টিফাই গ্রিন কালারের ওটা কি ডিনোট করছে
গোল that is the goal because এই একটা যে কোনো একটা 4 চলে এলেই তো গোল স্টপ হয়ে যাবে. that is the goal. So are you getting this thing?
স্যার বলছি ফার্স্ট এতে ফার্স্ট এতে আমি এখানে 3 এর বেশি 4 কিছু করতে পারি না
বুঝলাম না.
এখানে ধরুন 017 আছে, আমি ওটা 710 করতে পারি না
এখানে তো সিকোয়েন্সটা আছে. এটা তো ফার্স্ট জাগ, এটা সেকেন্ড জাগ, এটা থার্ড জাগ. ইউ ক্যানট চেঞ্জ দ্য সিকোয়েন্স আরবিট্রারিলি. তুমি যেভাবে স্টেটটা রিপ্রেজেন্ট করছো ইনিশিয়ালি, ইউ হ্যাভ টু ফলো দ্যাট সেম সিকোয়েন্স. রাইট? So are you getting this thing now? So actually what is the state space concept you should have before going to the search class that SMSAD will start from the next week. Okay, so that is the state space representation, that is the state space graph. So every problem should have this information, and with this information you can apply any search algorithms. So that's why those algorithms are said to be as a state space search algorithm. Right? Is it okay?
Sir, what is the difference between green and red line?
green represents the goal states and the others
No, sir,
are
not
non-goal
the node.
states.
I'm saying the
অ্যারোটার
edge.
কথা বলছি, অ্যারো।
Oh, arrow. I hope that I'm not sure. Maybe one path it is showing.
I guess
I don't
think
think that
green
much.
I
represents
think that
both
this is a
ways.
forward edge.
Sir,
Forward
green
edge.
are bidirectionals.
Greens are bidirectional. Very good. Right. The bold green, the green actually, the greens are bidirectional and the reds are unidirectional. Very good. Yeah. So now let's move on to the next problem.
So
Okay,
where
I
was
have,
it mentioned? How many?
Why,
So where was it mentioned?
How much
why
I
did
have
we
a
have
question.
bi-directional and
বুঝলাম না
why
আরেকবার
was the red
Yes.
one?
no. See,
Yes,
it may
the
happen.
significance.
No. It may happen that with the actually suppose this operator it is 3-2, right? Now with this operator, when you apply this operator on this state, you reach here, and you if you apply the same operator from this state, you can reach over here.
No, sir, but we for the same arrow that you showed, if we
Yeah.
apply port 3-2, then sir 2 is already filled, so we cannot apply it to that state.
Which one you are saying? This one.
Yes, sir. Sir, the operator is port 3-2. We are pouring from 3 to 2.
Port 3-2. 3-2 means from 3 to 2.
Yes, sir. 2 is already filled. So we cannot go from 2 to 008.
We can.
Source can.
Actually, we can now.
We can, because if we pour it from second to third.
Yeah, actually, source cannot be empty. Source can be filled.
Yeah.
Source can be filled.
Is not, source is not 2. Source is 3 na for port 3-2.
3-2. 3 is the source.
Yeah, I mean.
So 3 is not filled. 3 is not filled. 3 to fill noy.
Yes, sir.
3 is not filled. 2 is filled, but
sink. Sir, 2 is the sink and 2 is already filled. So if we pour from 3 to 2, we cannot.
Not 3 to 2.
Oh, actually, ठीक है. You just see this thing. That is the function of applying the operator. So what happens after applying the operator on a state? So suppose this thing happens that pour I comma j, a1 comma a2 comma a3, you got a1 dash a dash 1, a dash 2, a dash 3, right? So the situation is a dash m is equal to ai minus t if m equal to I, a dash m equal to aj plus t if m equal to j, and it will be as same as it is otherwise. Right? Okay, so and the t is the amount.
So where were we defining that t amount in the last state space graph?
No. That is not defined. But here, what is written here that since at most max j minus aj liters of water can be poured to jug j, so we can calculate the exact amount to be poured. So you can calculate that how much water you can pour. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir. But I think Arti was asking the same function port 3-2 cannot be applied again on that bidirectional line because it is supposed to be going from top to down, not the opposite side.
No. This is not a top to down thing. Whenever you find a state, you need to find out that. Now suppose if I remove this concept of the bidirectional, suppose I have this state Now in this state also, I need to think that what are the operators I can apply on this state. So if this thing happens that port 3, 2, so 3 is your source and 2 is your destination, so 3 to 2. So if I can do this 3 to 2, what is happening? So what will happen?
So 2 is already
Overflow.
filled. We cannot
Already filled. We
port
can't do
anything
2,
from
3,
3
2. We
to
can do
2.
2, 3.
Yes.
Something, yeah, that is true. Okay, I will come to that. Now this is a recurring meeting. So as soon as you will be off,
Yeah.
right? Could you see the slides?
স্যার এখানে 008 থেকে 017 এই স্টেপটা মানে কি করে হলো 223 যেটা
008 থেকে 017 কোথায় হয়েছে? এটা 017 থেকে 008 এ গেছে। Now I am not sure. Whenever we are talking about the this direction, is it possible that port 2-3, if I change the source and destination, port, if I do port 2-3 instead of 3-2, then can I get 008?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now just check whether it is true for all the bidirections.
Sir, can you repeat what you just said?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, that if this direction is from 008 to 053, if it is port 3-2, then the bidirections possibly mean that 053 to 008, the port 3-2 will be reversed to port 2-3. Is it working?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is
Yes,
same for
sir.
all.
Yeah. So I think that is to actually this is the representation, and just instead of writing twice, they just show in this. Okay. There is nothing much to worry about that.
অ্যালগরিদমটা ইউজ করছে মানে এই যে
এখানে কোনো অ্যালগরিদম নেই, এখন অবধি কোনো অ্যালগরিদম এখানে ইউজ হয়নি। এটা জাস্ট রিপ্রেজেন্টেশন, মানে এটা জাস্ট তুমি ভাবো যে এটাকে হাতে করে করা হয়েছে, ঠিক আছে, জাস্ট ম্যানুয়ালি। Algorithm will come when SM sir will start applying the algorithms on this graph. Actually not this graph, as I said that this graph will not be given explicitly as an input to your algorithm. So what will be given to as an algorithm, as an input to the algorithm? Only the initial state information, the goal state information, and the operators and the preconditions of the operators. That's the thing. So the difference between the algorithms that you have studied in the earlier classes, here the graph will not be given to you explicitly. The definition of the graph will be given to you. Am I getting? Yeah. So let me finish this thing first. So next problem is another very popular and familiar problem to you, that is towers of Hanoi. So you know the definition of the towers of Hanoi: 3 discs. The discs are identified by this 1, 2, 3, and the places where the disc will be placed, that rods are identified by the P, Q, and R. Okay, and the conditions, you know that what are the conditions, that the discs are placed in the increasing order of their sizes, and your goal is to move all the disks. So initially all the disks are at P, and you need to move all the disks from P to R. Okay, so that is the definition. Okay, so now move to the so now tell me what can be the state space representation for this problem. So now here it is represented like this, that so we store the information about the current positions of the disks. So current positions, mind it. So a state is a vector A1, A2, A3, where AI is the position of disk I. So A1 is the position of disk 1, A2 is the position of disk 2, and A3 is the position of disk 3, where AI belongs to P, Q, and R. So AI can be either P, either Q, or either R, right? So initially all the disks are at P. So that's why the initial state is P, P, P. And at the end, our goal is to move all the disks to R. So your goal will be R, 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 right? And what are the operators here? The operators will be again the move operator. But here you have to give that which disk to be moved to where. So move which comma where which belongs to 1, 2, 3, and where belongs to PQ1. Right? Is it okay up to this? Yeah, so I'm assuming that it's okay. So now move to the next thing. So this is the precondition, similar to the earlier problem. So I hope you understand this. What is saying over there? The disk which, so which actually is a disk, is on the top of the rod A which. So we need to formalize the following two conditions. So this cannot be possible, that the disk which is on the top of the, so first condition that needs to be satisfied, that the disk that you need to move, that will be at the top of that rod, right? And the disk which is getting moved to the top of the rod where the precondition. So what is the precondition? The symbolical representation, that A which should not be equal to where. So that means the disk that you need to move, that should not be placed already in the destination, right? So that means A which should not be equal to where, and for all I, where I less than which, so AI not equal to A which and AI not equal to where. So this is the condition, this is the precondition that needs to be followed whenever you try to apply an operator on a state. So what it is trying to say, that first of all, the disk that you want to move, that should be at the top of that rod. That is the first thing. And number two is, if you try to move a disk from one rod to another rod, the disk should not be already placed to the destination. That should not be acceptable, right? So that disk should be in the source, right? So that's why it is saying that AI not is equal to A which and AI not is equal to where. Okay. So with these preconditions, so this is the state space representation of the problem, where this PPP is the what I am saying, that initial state, and this is the final state. Okay, so what I am trying to say over here, that in the state space representation, whatever problems are given to you, you can choose your representation. Nobody has any question regarding this, but as I said earlier, that your representation should not have any ambiguities over there. So everything should be clearly represented, and the same states symbols, whenever you represent the state space at the end, it should represent the same state symbols that you have defined earlier. What I am trying to say, that here you have defined in a way, and when you draw the diagram, you draw it in a different way. That should not be acceptable, right? And whenever you are defining some operators, that operator should be clearly defined, that what it is job and how it will be performed. Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, so I have shown you two problems over here. So now, what I want you, not here, but not now, in a homework kind of thing, you should, yeah.
Sir, আপনি তখন যেটা বললেন যে there should not be any disk in the destination, ওই পার্টটা ঠিক ক্লিয়ার হলো না।
না, আমি যেটা বলতে চাইলাম যে তোমার ডিস্ক, যে ডিস্কটাকে তুমি মুভ করবে, ধরো সে তোমার একটা ডিস্ক পিতে আছে, তুমি ওটাকে কিউতে মুভ করবে, তাহলে সেই ডিস্কটা যদি অলরেডি কিউতে থাকে তাহলে তো আর মুভ করতে পারবে না, সেটাই আমি বলতে চেয়েছি। মানে তুমি মুভ হুইচ কমা হোয়ার এই অপারেটরটা তখনই অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারবে ইফ দ্যাট দ্য কন্ডিশন যেটা দেওয়া আছে সেই কন্ডিশনটা যদি স্যাটিসফাই করে, আদারওয়াইজ ইউ কান্ট অ্যাপ্লাই অ্যান অপারেটর অন দ্যাট পার্টিকুলার স্টেট। Okay, fine. So now what I want from you, that you are given this problem, 8 queens problem. I am not showing you the state space representation. You know the problem very much. It's a very familiar problem, that there will be an 8x8 board. You have to place the 8 queens in a way that no 2 queen will attack each other in either horizontal or vertical or diagonal way, right? So your job will be to represent this problem as a state space. Okay, so you will try. If you are not able to do, then I will show you, but right now I am not showing you my answer, because if I show you my answer, you can be biased. So I want your thinking, the individual thinking, that what happens? So what I want, that you try in your own to represent this problem as a state space. So as I said, that what are the components will be there? There should be a initial state representation, final state representation, operators, and the preconditions of the operators. And at the end, you can show me at least one solution of the problem in a graph. Okay, so that solution here at this moment, I don't want any optimal solution, because the optimality will done by the algorithm at the end. But here I want at least one solution following that rules. Okay, so are you getting my point?
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, can you once again show the preconditions of the Tower of Hanoi problem?
Yeah.
স্যার বলছি টাওয়ার অফ হ্যানয়তে লার্জার ডিস্কটা তো বোধহয় স্মলার ডিস্কের উপর প্লেস হতে পারবে না।
না
স্যার, ওটাও তো একটা প্রিকন্ডিশন না?
ওটা প্রিকন্ডিশন এখানে অলরেডি দেওয়া আছে, দেখো যে ফর অল আই হোয়ার আই লেস দ্যান হুইচ। Okay, so this thing will be done by this thing. Okay, so that condition is embedded over here. আচ্ছা কে বলছে so is it okay who is trying
Yes,
to
sir.
see
Yes,
this
sir,
thing?
yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine. So that is the thing. So that is the main idea, basic idea of the state space representation. Now so now what I want you that I want the solution of this problem from you. So if you can, if you are able to do this, then you can send me your solutions over mail. Okay.
So once show the slide of the state space for Tower of Hanoi.
Yeah.
So representation.
Sorry.
So scroll up a little bit. Thank you.
Scroll up to
No,
হবে না,
sir,
এটাই
it's
হবে।
okay.
ও
No, ঠিক আছে।
আচ্ছা
Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. So now with this I end this class over here, and I just stop sharing this thing. So okay, fine. So with this I end it, and next week Tuesday
छोड़ो ना।
okay, so next week Tuesday there is a holiday, so we will meet on next Thursday. Okay. So next class will be on next Thursday, right? Okay, so thank you very much.